Hi, Jacqueline Foster here of Feeling Good TV, the place to come visit when you're really yearning to make an impact without sacrificing your desires for passion and pleasure. Today I want to know, how long is your to-do list versus your sexy shoe list? I am a very goal-oriented person, and I imagine a lot of you are too. You probably like to get things done fast, go on to the next thing. And it's what we're taught a lot in schools, in society, in our homes. We're really taught to get things done. And we can actually forget in that process of just trying to get things done is actually what we might want in our lives. Not what we need, not what we have to do, not what we should do, but what we actually want. It can be very easy to forget about that in the shuffle. But what I've found is when I shut that off, what happens is everything feels more forced. Even though I'm getting things done, I feel more tired, more overwhelmed. And when I do have free time, I want to just kind of relax and almost go to the opposite extreme of just doing nothing. So what I've come across in the past couple months that's been really, really helpful for me, and I saw this repeating theme in a couple different places with Denise Duffield Thomas that I mentioned in another blog. She's the author of Get Rich Lucky Bitch, of Mama Gina, who has the School of Womanly Arts, and one of my coaches, Allison Braun. And the theme was really creating a desire list, knowing what you actually want. And this for me was very interesting and actually very challenging in the beginning. I realized I had shut off my desire quite a bit. And when I started writing a list, I didn't even know what I wanted. And it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? And when you don't even know what you want, sometimes it can be easy to look the other way. But when you begin to explore what you actually want, really for me turned on this light of, oh my gosh, there's a lot of things that I'd actually want and desire, and that's totally okay. And what would happen if I began to focus my attention on more of that? So what I want to share is a little bit of insight I had around doing this exercise so far, and encourage you to create your own desire list, whether you want to call it as well your sexy shoe list, or whatever you want to call it, but creating a desire list for yourself and really bringing some consistency to it so that you can really expand upon it and create what you want to create. So, and do it, of course, with desire and with actual feeling good. So, what I've learned from doing this exercise is it really drove home for me. We teach others the way we want to be treated by the way that we act, by the way that we live. And if I'm constantly coming from a place of I need to do this, I have to do this, getting things done, I'm kind of teaching people that I'm sort of like a machine who will just get it done. And as I began to do my desire list and kind of shift my actions and my relationship a bit with my husband and how I'm interacting a bit at work, it feels so much better now. And I realize that some of those relationships, especially with my husband, is beginning to shift a bit because I am shifting the relationship I have with myself by allowing myself to have desires. So this is a huge, huge, huge one. And the other realization that I have that's been really big is, how can I tell someone else what I want if I don't even know? How can I tell someone what I want if I don't even know? That's a really big one. And I feel like that's something that when I look back, I've done a lot of times, expected someone to read my mind instead of actually telling them what I want. And so by uncovering what I actually want, how I like things done, it actually has really shifted the relationship with my husband. And I'm seeing it start to shift in other ways too. So I recommend that you do this exercise. So one, you can take a look at how you're teaching others to treat you and coming to know what you actually desire so that it's easier for you to, one, get it, and two, of course, communicate it with other people. Because you're only going to know how to really communicate it is if you actually know really what you want. Okay? And this is going to be like in your work life, in your sex life, in your relationships, in all of it. We only can know what to ask for if we actually know what we like. So this is really important to spend the time to investigate. And I just want to give you one little analogy of a way you can think about this when you're cultivating it. If you imagine that there's a huge snowstorm and your car gets covered with snow, and you come out and you want to clear that car off so you can go drive it on the road. What's going to happen is you first need to clean the car off. You're probably going to turn on the engine so you can get the heat going, but there's going to be a little bit of a process to actually get that car moving. This is the same, I've realized, with our desires. Is sometimes when you go to create that desire list, it's not going to be huge. It's going to mean that you're going to have to go little by little to take a look and really ask yourself, what do I want? What do I desire? And so give yourself that permission to let it be short in the beginning and let that be totally fine. You're beginning to cultivate it. You're cleaning off that car and you're heating it back up so you can get it moving. So my assignment for you, if you choose to accept, is to start with your desire list. I like to call it my sexy shoe list because, hey, it rhymes with to-do list, and I have sexy shoes on my list. So that works for me. But whatever works for you, use that. And I recommend doing this on a weekly basis or a daily basis or with some type of consistency, so you're really beginning to cultivate it and strengthen those desire muscles. So as always, it's such a joy to share, and I'd love to know as well, what do you do to cultivate your desire and feeling good? If you enjoy this video, you can come over to JacquelineLaceyFoster.com, and on the homepage you can actually sign up and I'll send you these video blogs as well as updates for classes and courses that I have coming up. And you can also find me on hertube.tv. Wishing you an amazing day and looking forward to sharing more. Thanks so much.